congratulations. And can you tell us how much influence AV and Kevin Hayes had on you signing here?
Yeah, obviously, with the, having played for AB and, knowing what he can bring to a team, I think that was a big part. Kevin obviously being one of my best friends and a guy that I train with every day in the summers, and I see him around every day. So it's definitely one of those things when you have a friend on another team where you can feel confident. It definitely made it a little easier.
Sam, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, along those lines too. How about with Cam Atkinson too? Can you talk about your familiarity with him?
Yeah, Cam's obviously went to BC. He's a guy that's been around, friends with Kevin. So I've got to know him through there and playing against them over the last years. And, a guy that when you see a guy like him being brought in and, what he can bring to a team, I thought it was, a huge play for Chuck, and definitely excited to play with him.
Charlie O'Connor, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Hey, Keith. Kind of along the same lines of the last couple of questions. The Flyers, obviously, this offseason have made a lot of additions, changes, whatnot. When you're a free agent, does that play into your decision to come to a team, especially when, I'm sure you had quite a few offers out there, in terms of finding the Flyers attractive as a destination?
Yeah, it was a huge part. And, I think seeing what Chuck's done even, before free agency and making moves and making big moves and, just helping the team get better. I thought it was, a no-brainer for me. And, being able to see what he did before today and tomorrow and see how active he was. And, it just seems like it's a win now situation. And that's something that I'm all about. And, I thought it was the best fit.
Jordan Hall, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Hey, Keith, welcome to Philly. What were some of the things that Kevin Hayes told you about the Flyers and why he thinks it's such a good fit for you?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, obviously I know the roster and know how good the guys are, but, I think the biggest thing with him is, that the group is not happy with not making the playoffs last year and how it ended and, how guys, want to come in this year and have a huge year and get back to where, you should be. And, I think for me, that's the biggest thing. You see the hunger in the group and talking to guys in their team and how excited they are for the season to start. It's, it's definitely a big thing for me as well.
Rob Parent, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Hey, Keith, can you just kind of summarize real quickly an answer you've probably given many times, but what's it take to play 922 straight games?
Well, obviously a lot of luck. Great trainers, good doctors, everything, that the NHL provides us. But, I think it's just my love for the game as well. I love coming to the rink. I love, going to practice games, being at the rink. It's, the best job in the world. So for me, it's just, it's one of those things that I call it a little bit too of the little FOMO. I hate missing out on anything, especially when it's with your teammates. So, for me, it's just, wanting to be there and to be able to help out.
Rob, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah. Specifically, that moment looms really, not far down the road for maybe taking over Jarvis's numbers. What have you thought about that, or are you just putting it out of your head, or how do you feel about it?
For me, it's honestly throughout the whole process of this, I mean, even the way I live my life, it's just one day at a time. I just, focus on that day. I don't get too ahead of myself in really anything in life. So, even when it comes to that, I just try to focus on what I can do every day. Not worry about, what's out there.
Sam Carchidi, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Yeah, Keith, can you talk about your role last year, and were you playing as much on the power play as you had in the past, and do you still think you can be productive? I know you had a lot of points on the power play, but do you see yourself as the number one power play guy?
Yeah. Last year was, running the top power play up top. That's why I see myself as, a power play guy, a guy that can, help out, getting pucks to the forwards, obviously seeing how good the forwards are in Philly. It's a exciting thing to see that, and, hopefully be able to pass to those guys. And, I think for me, it's just, being good on the power play. I mean, obviously you can't score every power play, but it's getting momentum for your team, staying positive. And, I definitely take pride in that.
Sam, did you have a follow-up? Okay, Charlie O'Connor, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Hey, Keith. Yeah, I'm sure you've had these conversations with Chuck, but if you're able to share with us, what did he tell you about what he expects your role to be on this team? And also kind of as a follow-up, did you have conversations with him about, the, chasing down Jarvis's streak, and, whether that's something that the Flyers are going to kind of make sure that you have the opportunity to do, if possible?
No, honestly, it's, I think for me, it was just, I haven't talked to Chuck about that stuff. It's, it's one of those things where it's, I'm a team player. It's all about the team. Like I said earlier, I don't really think too far ahead. So I think for me, it was just getting the best fit for me and a chance to win. And, ultimately that's why I went with the Flyers.
Tom Galiti, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Hi, Keith. Just what was it like for you, I guess, emotionally? You get bought up by Florida. I'm sure there's some disappointment there, but how quickly did that turn to maybe, looking at it like you have an opportunity here?
Yeah, I thought it was, it was best case for me. And, being able to, obviously when you get bought out, it's, it's one of those things where it's, it throws a little wrench in your life. But I knew for me, I'd be able to go into a good team at a low cap hit and be able to help somebody out. And I thought that was the biggest thing for me, is looking at the, the bright side of it and putting myself in a good situation. And, ultimately that's what I did.
Jordan Hall, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Hey, Keith. I'm thinking you've played against Carter Hart maybe only a couple of times, but what do you know about him? What have you heard about him?
He's a stud. He's a guy, when you think of young goalies in the league, you think of him. And, a guy that I'm definitely excited to play in front of. He's a guy, just from talking to guys on the team, especially Kevin and other guys, it's, you hear that he carries himself like he's a 10-year vet. And, I'm excited to work with him and to play in front of him. And, definitely one of those guys that when you look at signing with the Flyers, you see how good of a goalie they have. And, that's a big thing.
Okay, we'll do two more questions. Sam Carchidi, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
Yeah, Keith, from what you've learned about the Flyers, what do you think is needed? You talk about the team being on a mission this year, but what areas do you think that they need to improve on, just from talking to some of the guys that are on the team?
Honestly, I didn't really talk too much about that. And, I'm sure more of that talk will be when I see guys and get to the rink and talk to coaches and stuff like that. But, to be honest with you, I didn't really talk too much about that, about X's and O's and stuff like that. It was just, when I talked to guys, it was more getting to, know the city and how, everything's ran there. And, nothing really X's and O's too much.
And last question, Ashley Sarge, you're on with Keith. Go ahead.
So you're approaching this Ironman streak. How much, you say you talk day by day. How much is that in the back of your mind? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's, it's one of those things I definitely take pride in it. I'm blessed to be able to not only just play one game in this league, but to play, I got my 1,000th game last year, and to, like you said, play a bunch in a row. And definitely something I take pride in. But it's just one of those things you gotta, see how the next day comes.
Okay, Keith, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.